Hi, my name is Frank Manzi. I'm a singer-songwriter from Western Massachusetts, and I am live with Neil.
All right, everybody, here we are live with Neil, high in the Highlands overlooking beautiful New York, Manhattan. Today I have Frank Manzi. He is a songwriter from Western Massachusetts. He's got a bunch of great tunes. I hope I can persuade him to play a little bit while he's here. And if you like him, check him out. At the end of the show, there'll be some notes on my page regarding how, what, why, and where, and how to buy some of his great songwriting. And without much ado, how are you, man? What's going on?
Good. How you doing, Neil? Thanks for having me on your show.
Yeah, I'm glad. Thank you. I'm glad for having you. We always like good talent, and anybody from Massachusetts usually fit right in with our show.
All right. All right.
A lot of friends up there. So tell me about yourself.
Well, I've been writing songs for a long time, seventh grade. I'm in my father's backyard here, right near Forest Park, which is a beautiful park. And I used to walk to school, and I used to go through the park. And my first day of school in seventh grade, I met two guys that lived on the next street. And their names were Barry and Chris. And we walked to school that first day and started talking about music, And I played at the time because my older brother always had me have a guitar and harmonize with him. And those guys played, and we figured that out on the way to school that first day. And that day after school, we were in their basement and we were playing music, So that's kind of where it started. It actually started with my brother. My brother, once Harvest came out, Neil Young, Harvest, he really got into that album, and he put.
Guitar players seem to have that album in common that I've noticed in my life.
Yeah, so he put a guitar in my hand, and because he wanted somebody to play with him and harmonize with him. So he kind of taught me how to do that stuff,
Cool.
Yeah.
And then where did that lead to? What was the next session?
Yeah, so that the two kids that I met on the way to school became, lifetime friends.
Mm-hmm.
And we started a band called The Breakdown. And The Breakdown existed from right around we had to wait for one of the guys to get out of college. So that was about 1986 when we really, 85, 86, when we really started practicing hard. And we got our garage all set up. We had mirrors in the garage. We had egg cartons and insulation and electrical in there, and all our equipment in there. So we ended up buying a sound system. We bought a truck from playing every weekend, and we travel up and down the Northeast. And we made it down to New Jersey, actually, down in Asbury Park.
I'm just like literally a half hour down the ocean from here, but Asbury's about a 20-minute ride. So
how long have you been in New Jersey?
I moved back here I think it's 11 years this year. I grew up in Wyckoff, Wayne, Ridgewood. Then I went away to boarding school, but after boarding school, my family relocated to Florida. So I've been back here now about 11 or 12 years.
I'm the kind of person that does not like cold winters,
Right. Well, you're in the heart of it.
I know. I want to go to Florida in the winter, somewhere where it's warm,
I get it. So, you want to play a tune?
Sure. Yeah. This is one, I got a record coming out called Becco Sessions, but I'm not going to play one off of there. This is even newer. This is called I'm Lucky. I'm lucky, lucky to have you. I'm lucky to have you. when the world turned upside down, all around, tall breeze blowing from above, saying feel the love you're part of. When wandering into the night, put your hands beckon toward the light. I'm lucky, I'm lucky, I'm lucky, lucky to have you. I'm lucky, I'm lucky, lucky to have you. In my dreams, the oceans roll, on the beach sand, teardrops fall. Made love beneath the midnight sun, but I lost you, I saw you run. You didn't say a word, just the waves hitting's all I heard. Crying, crying, calling out your name, and you fall into my arms again. I'm lucky, I'm lucky, I'm lucky, lucky to have you. I'm lucky, I'm lucky, lucky to have you. I'm lucky, I'm lucky, lucky to have you. I'm lucky, I'm lucky, lucky to have you.
All right, man. We got the audience. We're going to have the applause. Turn up the applause, please. Anyway, nice tune. So tell me about it. Is this a autobiographical type song, or is it just a general man on the street thing? I know sometimes guys and girls in the band, sometimes they'll write a song and one of their significant others might be like, are you thinking about her?
Yeah, you know, that's always a mystery. And, you know, but this one's actually, you know, biographical, you know, my wife. And
that's cool. How long you been married?
29 years, August 2nd.
Way to go, man. Good for you.
I got 3 boys, you know, and they all play music. We actually, 2016, made a family record, you know.
All right. Is that on your page or your
it's not out yet. I'm going to put that out like right after I release this other one. I'm trying to figure out how to release this in these times, you know. I'm thinking of doing like a record release online, you know.
Right. You know, that's one of the things a lot of people are doing. And, you know, with you having experience with, you know, using Zoom and so forth.
Yeah.
You know, my suggestion is a lot of playing, you know, maybe do a live concert of the record.
Yeah.
Hype the hell out of it. I'll also hype it for you when you have stuff. You might
cool.
Record in Afghanistan. And I jokingly say this, but I have a friend of mine in Afghanistan as a photographer, Habibi, and we had him on the show. The guy just amazing photography, and it was one of the better shows I've had. We talked for an hour about Afghanistan. You know, most of us think of it, this place with people with guns and bombs dropping, and it's a really complicated place. Obviously, you know, nobody's ever solved it.
Yeah, it's crazy. There's beautiful people all over the world, you know.
Absolutely, and you never know when you're going to meet one. You know, I mean,
that's right.
I've met great people everywhere in the world I've been. I met some assholes there too on occasion, but at the end of the day, we all bleed red, you know, and I don't know what to say.
I think most people are decent, you know, and you know, even though, you know, there's just a lot of things in life that can make a person do something that maybe they didn't want to do or something like that, you know. Even those people that do things wrong, you know, they're originally decent people, you know?
Absolutely.
and they mess up. So we gotta be forgiving too.
Forgiving is the best thing you can do, even if it's somebody that pissed you off in some way. Just don't get it. You know, it's the only thing we have control of is our responses and our emotions. And I'm a believer in Stoic philosophy. And, you know, everything that happens is going to happen. And what you can't really do anything about, why do you spend so much of your life worried about what people think or any number of things?
Right.
You know, hell, when I started this, I have a good friend of mine, and it was funny because I've known him for decades, and we've busted each other's balls for years, decades actually.
Yeah.
My first show, and it was thoroughly awful. I was fighting the camera, and I'm like, oh, I don't know what to talk about. I this like the first month the quarantine started. I saw a couple of people at first. It was just one or two people had figured it out. They were doing these shows, and then I realized, oh my God, there's so much crap music on there, out there in the world. Let me go through and just scan the internet around the world. I have a band from, they're not Mongolian, they're from Nepal, but they're a Nepalese heavy metal band, heavy on the Genghis Khan theme. And you know, you think about it and you go, wow, that sounds weird. I'll tell you what, do you know what Tuvan throat singing is? It's the guys, it's like they can sing 3 notes with 1 note. They're the Mongolians.
Yeah. There's a lot of like polyphonic singing.
Yeah.
Like they do that in Sardinia. Sardinia. If you punch in Sardinia polyphonic, oh my God, you'll get some great
I'll have to check that out.
stuff. Yeah.
Well, I call this the human didgeridoo. It kind of goes, a bull roar, it spins, it goes, no, that's the didgeridoo, right? It goes,
yeah. That sounds just like it.
Bring him to New York. I'd tell him I've got the world-class didgeridoo ensemble here, man. we're going up to Kennedy Center. And, they sound like super heavy. They really sound cool. When I first saw it, I was like looking at the garish costumes and everything, and I said, wow, that is really trippy. I wonder if it's going to be any good, you know? And my girlfriend came home, and she was like, what the hell are you listening to this time? I said, oh, this is like that Tuvan throat singing. And she's just like, yeah. And she actually started to dig it. I said, you got to hear this. Wait, just give it a chance. I said, this isn't all they do. It's not all didgeridoo.
Yeah.
But when they're singing these, they have that very, drumming is very polyrhythmic. You know, a lot of 30-second note kick drum shit going on. And it's brutal in its execution. But they're out there, and I'm trying to get them on the show.
That's cool stuff. Yeah.
I got a band from DC that's going to be on. It's an all-black ensemble that does African music with avant-garde modern music. And again, it's like, I don't know, it's not exactly on my music choice channel. Click, click, click. I heard it, I watched their videos, and I went, holy shit, these guys are killer. I mean, I don't care what kind of music you like. If you can't get something out of that vibe they have, you're just dead inside. I mean, it was really cool. So
really good. Yeah.
Right now I have, I started to do a thing called Music of Tampa Bay, and I was just going to do a month of shows because I know everybody there. Well, that turned into a book idea because I started doing the interviews, and I'm up to like 160 people want to do it. So I'm just going to write a book because I lived there through it, and I know everybody, and they know me, so they trust me enough. All the backroom late night conversations we ever had or trouble we got into, we won't be bringing any of that up. But so tell me, how do you go and gig usually? How has this impacted your gigging up there?
Oh, big time. You know, I probably had 2 gigs right in town. I played at a golf course, which is out in the open, and me and my son was home from California for about a month. And so him and I played 2 gigs at this golf course, you know.
Cool.
And it was kind of, you know, it was okay. You know, it was good to play out again in front of people, but it was still strange, you know.
It is so strange.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. I haven't done it, you know, at all this year, but if it was a normal summer here, there's a plethora of gigs. You know, I live in a short town from here to Asbury and north up to, you know, or whatever. There's clubs everywhere. And
so what is your band like? Like what?
My band is weird. Like the first cut we did that, you know, we've done is a Leonard Cohen song called First We Take Manhattan.
Okay.
And we did a version of it that's very different than anybody else's. We're like can't say we're we're high energy for old guys rock band.
Yeah.
You know, my influences run a broad gamut of things from Peter Gabriel to jazz to, I like good country music. And when I write in any of the genres that I've mentioned. You know, like I have a song right now that we're doing that I would call it a homage to Led Zeppelin. So
Yeah.
it sounds similar to the first record. We've got, you know, really crunching guitars, and I recorded it in a studio with a big 20-foot lid, so the drums sound like freaking cannons, you know. If somebody listened to it and didn't say, wow, that's kind of like Zeppelin, I'd be surprised if you've ever listened to Led Zeppelin, because, you know, I love those guys. I grew up with them. I've had that song idea in my head on guitar for like 2 years, and I've been every once in a while at practice I'd go to my guys, hey man, I got this song, you know, let's try it. You know, I'm a dreadful guitar player, don't get me wrong, but they know that I can write songs, but I always will hustle them in to get a bridge going or to make
Right.
hire good guitar players, you know.
Yeah.
I can so you know, we're like a weird band. I was a singing drummer, and now because of the accident, well, I still play, and I've been doing a lot of congas and stuff. But I went into the studio to do a couple of songs, and I played for 4 hours, like Led Zeppelin style songs. And then the other one was a copy of the song Heroes I'm doing for some guys in LA who were they're with Stars Entertainment. And basically what they were doing was when COVID started, they wanted to do this virtual band. And one of my teachers from college rang me up and asked me if I'd be interested in playing some drums. And I went, hell yeah. And
Let's do it.
I did it. I went in, I rented studio time. I could do it here at my house. I have a pretty nice studio, but I have new neighbors right next door. And the thought of recording like a heavy metal Led Zeppelin drum song here.
They'd hear it.
Yeah. And plus, I go into the studio. We have everything we need. You know, it's a great studio. My keyboard player works there. He also works for my girlfriend's record company. And so it's good, you know. I mean, band-wise, I have a bunch of great people surrounding me. And
what is it? Z-Tech?
Zcon.
Zcon.
Okay, a Zcon is an event that I was a part of the beginnings of it, but not the very beginning. It was a bunch of, have you ever heard of Brian McDonald? He's a musician in Connecticut, plays all over.
I think I have heard of him. What does he play? What instrument?
And he sings, and then he plays like with this orchestra down in the middle of Hartford.
Does he play with when Al Anderson comes to town around here? Does he play guitar for Al Anderson? He was a lead guitar player for NRBQ.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'll have to ask you about that. Great songwriter, great guy. So, any rate, they got talking about having a gathering, and Brian just put together a freaking killer band up there. He had this singer, Elise McPherson, who's just killer. And he had the band was like a Steely Dan situation almost. They were all killers. We got to talking, and I wanted to go up and be part of it. So I offered to host the pre-convention. And I brought a PA up, and I had got all the people who wanted to play at ZCon but really couldn't because it was Brian's show. I was lucky because I got to do a song with Brian. He asked me to cover a song, and I'd sing with those guys. So I got up, and it's on my page. I got up and played Gorilla You're a Desperado. And it's hilarious because at the real ZCon the other night, they used my band's song to lead into George Gruhl's part of the discussion about Warren. George was manager for 30 years.
Wow.
And he has a company called Gorilla Music. And he's also had a book out about Warren, which is now sold out, which if anybody tells you self-publishing is not a good way to go, his book now for $350 each on eBay if you can find one.
Wow.
So pissed I didn't buy one when they came out because at the time it went by me and I forgot to buy one. Thought there'd be thousands of them online. No, limited book run. So actually, we interviewed him at the ZCon the other night. We also interviewed Anita Gevinson. Excuse me, I'm so bad sometimes.
I'm not sure.
Really, you know who she is?
I don't know.
She's got a book out, and she was Warren's love of his life, the end of his life, they were tight. And we had her on. I had two authors who have written the latest books about Warren's life. I interviewed his wife. So this is all just my own personal interest. I've always thought that Warren was a killer songwriter, amazing artist, and just kind of, he flew under the radar. But, talking to people who know him, that was just his thing. It rubbed his ass that he didn't have the money like, say Don Henley or Jackson. But he had them all as friends, and he just loved to use them, like all the guitar players and stuff. Waddy Wachtel, monster guy. And he'd come play if Warren would send him free first class airfare back and forth. He would actually.
It's funny because when I saw you were doing that, I knew it had something to do with Warren Zevon, and that was one guy that I never like. I was kind of like a tunnel listener, when I was growing up, and I'd get into like the Harvest album and then listen to that, and and that would be a big influence. And then guys like Marshall Crenshaw, I'd get into that stuff. Graham Parker, Little.
I love Graham. He's great.
Yeah, Little Steven and Southside, and just recently, one of my friends is going, "Hey Frank, you should play some Warren Zevon, and I'm like, I never really listened to it. I said, I'm sure I would love it too, So, anyways, I'm learning this song called "The Heartache," which I don't know yet, but I need to learn it for my friend because I will. When I learn it, I'll call you up.
Yeah, man, I'd love to have you back, especially after the record comes out.
Yeah. So I'm excited. This record's been it's about 3-4 years in the making as far as recording goes.
Right.
And, one of the songs is a song called Hurricane.
Mm-hmm.
Basically been writing for 10 years. And I was just saying the other day to somebody and my son, my son, who was probably about 12 years old, I'm doing one part of it and he's going, "Dad, you should do this on this part," and I'm like, okay. And that part stuck and that was 10 years ago,
Tell me, what instruments do your boys play?
My oldest son, Lucas, is a good percussionist and can play, he's just got a good feel. He's not accomplished yet.
Right.
He's 27 years old. He doesn't play all the time.
Mm-hmm.
He's really, really, he can supply a good beat behind somebody on a cajon.
Right.
And he's got a drum set that he's been playing with. So he's starting to get pretty good at it,
Cool.
And comfortable. He also plays the bass, and they all have really unique, sweet voices, He's also an accountant.
Okay.
He's a CFO at a credit union around here. And so he's doing good with that. And, and my whole family plays. My brother plays, my son plays out live. My niece plays out live. I play out live. So
what do they play? The niece and your other son?
Everybody, my other son plays guitar and songs. So he has an EP out, and then he also just spent 16 months recording a whole other record, and he's in LA living out.
Oh, cool.
There. Yeah. So yeah, we're a pretty musical family, and
that's great.
It comes from, if you see my yard here, hang on a second. I'm going to take this thing and show you my dad's yard.
All right.
So right behind me are the grape.
Oh, that's great, man. I love those grapes.
Grapevines. So the grapevines provide a little shade in the backyard. You see my father in the backyard over here.
Obviously, this looks like my upbringing. You're another Italian family. I'm going to come over and borrow a couple tomatoes.
You see him back there?
Yeah, I see it. The great garden he's got.
Hey, Dad, say hi to these people.
How you doing, Dad? Hello. Great garden, my friend. Looks like my old town.
He's got his little shack over here that he, has his tools in, and So getting back to, why our family plays music, guys like him, every Easter, every Christmas, every holiday, all the uncles and all the cousins would come over. Have an uncle with a gallon of wine. He'd put it by his feet.
Right.
And then, when it was the right time, you'd see the bottle come up, boom, everybody would have wine, they're drinking, all food on the table.
Oh, yeah.
And then they would sing these songs from Italy.
Right.
And everybody would sing. And I had uncles that harmonized that know that they were harmonizing, So I'm like, oh, do that again, do that again. And he's like, what do you want me to do?
I love it.
He didn't understand it, but he knew how to do it, It's pretty interesting.
That's cool. It's funny, you guys are Italian. Do you know what part of Italy you came from?
Yeah, we're from the Naples area.
Okay.
Naples, yeah.
Gotcha.
Quindici and Bracciano are the two towns. My mother's from Bracciano. My father's from Quindici.
Okay. Well, I may call on you for a favor one day. On the day.
Yeah,
About.
I'll make an offer you can't refuse.
There you go. They threw me out, and then they
drag me back in. Pull me back in.
Love it, man. I could do a whole show on mafia guys. Like the Sopranos. A bunch of them still live around here.
Oh, really?
Right down the hill, the house where they filmed when Tony was going to buy a big beach house. You remember that?
Yeah.
It's like I could see it out my window from here. And every time I drive by it, I'm always like, after Sandy hit us, I was like, Seabright we got hit shitless. We got the whole town I live in got annihilated. And I said, well, things are kind of tough. If I was the director of public relations for that town, I'd see the rumor that people are seeing James Gandolfini's ghost walking up and down the seawall and hear him screaming, and Italian music plays at weird times. Just create this whole sensation by having 3 or 4 dimwits call into the town and call the police and say, hey, I swear to God, it's Tony. He's walking the guy on the wall.
I tell you, he was so good,
As we open up and we start a tourist company and we drive tourists around to see the house and hunt for his ghost at night, like one of them stupid shows on ghost hunters. They're always running.
Yeah.
I see him ever fucking capture anything remotely resembling a ghost. But they have fun doing it, I mean, hell, we could do that. Musicians look for ghosts with Neil.
What's this, celery, Dad?
Celery. All right.
Celery,
I love it, man. There you go. Oh, right. We're getting into the nature thing today. So tell me, does Dad sing?
Dad, do you sing? You want to sing a song?
All right, we're going to bring Dad on.
Here, come over here. Sit down.
Right to your left. Hey there, Pop.
Right there. Just stay right there. Ne fa presto mi non ne va spandega. Tu marinario ai giamatera. Skinna se braccine aiuta mattina iso marinariello areccia attiro vicino ma facimmo ancora Langes passò buona marina Maria.
All right. Good job, Dad. How's that garden doing? I want to come out and get some tomatoes.
Go with me. How's your garden doing? How's the garden doing? Not too good this year.
Not enough rain?
Just pick up 4 or 5 tomatoes.
Well, I bet they're good anyway.
I know
it was a cold. I was, you know,
It was too cold, he said.
too cold in the summertime, yeah.
When I think early May, you know, we planted his garden a little too early.
Right.
Late. I should have played him late.
We should have planted it a little later because we had a cold
Right. I remember
summer.
that up by you guys, I was watching, you had some late snowfalls and stuff.
Yeah. So not too good for the plants, you know, when they're young.
Well, so tell me, how about you play something? Did you write stuff for your family record? Do you have anything from that you'd like to play?
Yeah, let's see. I'll do this one. I want to stand at the edge of the water, breathe the air right through my soul. I want to walk hand in hand with my sons and daughters, show them all the beauty that I know. And I know one day there will come soft rains. I know one day there will come soft rains. Well, I went down to the river where I waited as a child. I was looking for my friend the seabird, but he was nowhere to be found. And I know one day there will come soft rains. I know one day there will come soft rains to wash away the sins of our time. No more living and no more dying, just the remains of what we left behind. And I know one day there will come soft rain. I want to walk hand in hand with my sons and daughters, show them all the beauty that I know. I want to stand at the edge of the river, breathe the air right through my soul. Breathe the air right through my soul. Breathe the air right through my soul. Breathe the air right through my soul.
Very nice song. Excellent.
Thank you.
Oh man, I think the greenery this might be your new look, man. You never know. It might just
You can have a meal at the same time, you know.
same time. It's like a feed bag almost, an Italian feed bag. There you go. I love it. So
With basil on the other side.
that was a really nice song. I can imagine I'd be proud to have written that with my family. That's a really nice tune.
Thank you. Yeah. So the writing, I have a friend that I write with, you know, and we've been writing together for years. His name is Donnie Morehouse, and you know, he's a writer he does a local music section in the it's called Mass Live, or the Republican. It's called Live Wire.
Mm-hmm.
So he's just a great writer, and we've been friends for a long time. And this next record, the Becco Sessions, is actually dedicated to him, you know, because
Cool.
I just feel really thankful for having him as a friend over the past years, and the kind of work that we do together. You know, we write songs together, and he'll just give me some lyrics, and then, you know, whatever time he worked on the lyrics, he'll give them to me. He'll give me a bunch of stuff, and then we'll just go over. We'll talk about it. We don't see each other too much, but we communicate in that way. And over the years, I really looked at it, and I'm like, he really kept me busy, you know, and kept my mind in a good spot, you know, where I could spend a lot of time writing songs, you know, and you know, I was a crazy, you know, I worked a lot of hours. Back in 2001, I did a record called Somewhere in Between with, have you heard of T-Bone Walk?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. So he came in to the studio with a whole dolly worth of, you know, everything, his keyboards, his basses, he had banjos, he had,
Wow.
everything, you know, and he brought all his instruments in to this session that we were doing. And during the time, it was just crazy, because I'm talking about work, and I worked because I had a family and young kids, and I was working construction, and I was a foreman on a trenching job on the highway.
Oh boy.
I was also playing 5 days a week,
Yeah.
and I was recording on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday nights.
Wow, I love it, man. The hardest man in showbiz. So
Yeah, it was crazy, you know, and so the guy that I work with, Danny Bernini, who does house sound for Ben Harper, you know, he's produced all my records, and he's mixing this last one and has produced a couple songs. But Danny knew T-Bone, because T-Bone lived in Vermont, right over the Mass line, and T-Bone came in, and I think they both knew, you know, I was kind of working like crazy, and I had these songs, and they actually set up a bed for me when I got there.
Right.
So I would get there, and if I didn't have anything to do, I would be sleeping, you know, and then they'd wake me up. Hey, Frank, you got to do this part, you know.
Right.
It was cool. That was an experience, and I got to know T-Bone pretty good. To dinner, he used to. My cousin had an Italian restaurant around here, and we went to eat there. And he loved broccoli rabi. I remember that.
Right, I do too. Yeah.
So, yeah. So T-Bone was a really, really cool guy, you know.
So, do you have any songs from that record you'd like to play?
Yeah. Let's see.
Everybody, if you're watching, I am with Frank.
We rode bareback through the fields, making fresh tracks in the snow, in a moonlit white road, casting shadows as we go. Our reflections, they were giants against the backdrop of this world, but our heroics go unnoticed, the stories go untold. If we die here in the woods tonight, would they ever find us? we leave a legacy, trailing far behind us? If we should meet again in some holy place, we won't leave without a trace. Sometimes I see forever in my child's eyes, and I swear that I would never perpetuate the lie. In a world that takes your secret dreams and renders them defiled, it's the least that I could do for my sweet forgiving child. And if I die here on this road tonight, would they ever find me? Would this song become the legacy? All the songs I've left behind me. And if we should meet again in some other place, I'd pray dreams she had weren't gone, gone without a trace. Na 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 na, na 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 na. Snow is falling light again. It covers up our trail. We don't need a visionary to show us how we fail. And I know now that you're leaving, from that look upon your face. The love we had is gone without a trace. And if I die here all alone tonight, would they ever find me? Would this song become the legacy? All the songs I've left behind me. And if we should meet again for some unknown reason, we should have to leave, we won't leave without a trace. Na 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 na.
All right, man. You got some great tunes, buddy. I really enjoy it. You know, you never know what you're going to hear when you have somebody on the first time, but you got a great bunch of tunes, man. I'm impressed.
Thank you very much. I got some fun ones too, you know. Can I play a fun one real quick?
Absolutely. Why not? Fun.
All right.
Check.
The morning is so hard when the nights are so long. Well, I remember you dancing to some old Spanish song. Thought I was dreaming when you looked my way. Well, my heart was still beating like the drums of Galway. I can't remember all the things that we said. We only danced for a little while, but I still can't seem to forget your Spanish eyes and your Irish smile. you sang the amore to the boys in the room. When you left, we all swore you were leaving too soon. Well, I watched as you wandered through the smoke and the crowd. Well, I'll see you tomorrow, girl, if you're still around. I can't remember all the things that we said. We only danced for a little while, but I still can't seem to forget your Spanish eyes and your Irish smile. There's lovers and liars, princes and thieves. Baby, your heart is bringing this boy to his knees. Here in Spain, here in Spain, here in Spain, here in Spain. Here in Spain, here in Spain, here in Spain, here in Spain.
Hey, man, very nice, very nice. So, it's been great having you on here, man. I'm really enjoying it. You got some great tunes. Oh, man, I'm getting hungry just looking at that. Damn celery down.
I'll tell you, the best thing about having a garden is making sure you go out there and pick it and make nice salads. And
Yeah.
I had 2 salads yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel good. I feel healthy, you know.
Yeah, man.
When I don't eat right, I'm like, you know, I feel I don't know.
Right?
But this is good, you know. I love this stuff.
Well, I'm really, again, I'm happy you came on because this is going to be a great show. Ultimately, it's going to be an hour show. I plan to do one a week. And the reason is when I first started, I thought I'll do a show every day.
Yeah.
Because we'll gather and hang. I'll be blowing out the late night guys, just with my wit, talent, and just sheer pomposity.
Yeah. I think, yeah. So you rethought it, right? And you're like, all right,
One a week.
what can I do realistically that's going to make an impact, right? And then you got to backpedal a little, right?
The first week that I did this, I got till Wednesday.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, too little and too much. Just not I'm not like I'm not somebody who's good. I can speak extemporaneously, obviously, but it's way different. Like having an interview with you and I one-on-one was way different for me from sitting behind my drum kit or on stage singing. The first show I did, I'm like, oh my God, normally if you see a microphone, I'll be behind it,
Yeah. Yeah.
I like to tell jokes and terrorize the audience, In today's world of politically correct entertainment, I have to just hold up a card that says, warning, this show may be dangerous to your mental.
Dangerous, yeah.
If you have any, I don't know what you would call it, resilience. Comedy, if it's not, I don't care who does it. And if it could be making fun of me, or I'm Italian, they can make Italian jokes. They can make jokes about anything. But
You know who's perfect with that is Bill Burr. I don't know. Have you seen Bill Burr?
Bill's great. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's kind of like watching Larry David on Curb Your Enthusiasm. You feel uncomfortable, but it's hilarious.
Why don't you roll us out with one last tune, and we'll.
Okay. First, hey Neil.
Yeah.
Do I have anything in my teeth?
Let me see. Yeah, man. No, you don't. No, you. All right.
Hello there, girl. My name is Trash. Would you care to dance with me? That's right, my name is Trash. Would you polonaise with me? Ain't got a job from what the radio plays. Can't get a future nowadays. Ain't got no money to feed my cat. Would you mind a little dance with a boy named Trash? He's had enough of clean living, health insurance, television, hellbox news, shiny shoes. Could you do a little dance with a boy named Trey? So you can dance, you can dance, so you can dance with a boy named Trey. Now listen, honey, you made this cat's day. I didn't know that you could hop that way. Thanks for the movement, baby. Thanks for the rap. Thank you for dancing with a boy named Trey. So you can dance. You can dance. You can dance with a boy named Trey. You can dance.
All right, everybody. A big hand for Frank Manzi. We like this guy, and you're going to see a lot more of him here on Live with Neil. Frank, I'm so glad you did this. And, you know, sometimes they go and it's just like, oh, God, we can't seem to get a groove going. But you're great fun, and I hope to see you soon. We'll stay in touch, obviously. And
thank you so much for having me, Neil. And again, I just want to say that what you're doing is important at this time, you know, so it's great, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, man. Well, listen, I'll see you soon, and next time I'm up your way, we'll try and hang somewhere.
All right, sounds good.
All right. Bye, everybody. We'll see you soon. Live with
later.
Friday at 10 o'clock. Thank you.